Hey, sports fans, how you doing? This is Phil Fiumano, and I'm here with one-on-one interview with Brian Catman Cataquet. How you doing, Brian?
Hello, Phil. Nice
Cool.
to be here.
Nice. All right, so let's get started. We have a great show here, and I got a lot of questions for you, and I'm sure all the sports fans out there want to hear about what we have to say. First question is, how did sports collecting start? Baseball cards and card collecting. Yeah.
Card collecting began in the 1840s in France. Small retail shops used business cards to promote their services and their business, and these business cards were printed with color lithography, which is very attractive to consumers. So they would actually collect the business cards and save them. And then in the 1870s in the United States is when card collecting really began. Tobacco companies actually began inserting all types of different cards, baseball cards, actress cards, actor cards of the time. They inserted the cards into their tobacco packs to promote their sales and to make consumers, buy their product. Right. So that's and then it
was a marketing ploy.
It was a marketing technique, and then with the popularity of baseball, these tobacco companies thought that by inserting a baseball card in their pack, that it would draw attention. So that's really how baseball card collecting and collecting in general began. It's a hobby that dates back to the 1840s.
But what was the first baseball card ever put out there? The world's first one.
If one was to do research on the card collecting hobby, a lot of journalists and reporters have said in the past that the first baseball card was issued in 1869 and by a company called Peck and Snyder, which created a card of the Cincinnati Red Stockings. Recently, an auction
that was the first company?
This is what journalists that really don't know about cards would write about in the past. But recently there was a discovery in an auction in New Jersey that discovered a card of Dave Birdsall. He was a ball player. And the card dates circa 1865, 1866. Many feel that that is the newly discovered first baseball card in the world. But in my opinion, not many people know that in 1863, there's a baseball card that was produced by the Jordan and Company, which were photographers, and they were located on Greenwich Street. They issued a card of ball player Harry Wright, and that card was discovered in 2000, and that sold in an auction for over $83,000. So in my opinion, the first baseball card in the world is the 1863 Jordan and Company card of Harry Wright.
Wow. Okay, but what would you say was the most popular baseball card in the world as a collectible, right, at this moment?
People might say that the most popular card is the famous $2 million Honus Wagner card. It just recently sold for $2.8 million. People will say that's the most popular. I think that the signature card of our hobby has always been the 52 Topps rookie card of Mickey Mantle. Okay. And here's a 52 Topps Mickey Mantle card.
Yeah, right there.
Mickey Mantle is was every boy's dream to be. He was the All-American kid.
Is that a rookie card? Or?
His 52 Topps rookie gum card. That has always been the signature card of the hobby because of Mickey Mantle. All the baby boomers that follow baseball wanted to be like Mickey Mantle. So the 52 Topps Mickey Mantle card is the most popular card, I would say, in this hobby. It's the signature card of the hobby.
And we talked about tobacco cards, but why are they so important, let's say?
Like I said, that's really how collecting began. Tobacco. They made several millions of tobacco cards dating back from 1886 through 1922. The first tobacco card is the Old Judge tobacco card. This is in 1886. That's the first tobacco baseball
card. Why is that Old Judge? What is that?
Old Judge is a cigarette manufacturer.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the brands. It's a brand name for a card. So it's important because that's really how baseball card collecting began.
So you'd say the hardest ones to find are the Honus Wagners and
Honus Wagner is the most significant baseball card. It's not really the hardest to find. It's probably about 95 to 100 known in the world. It's significant because everyone knows the story. Wagner was against smoking tobacco. He didn't want his face, his image to appear on a tobacco
See,
card.
not everybody knows that. You see?
Yeah, I mean,
Sports
he
fans.
didn't want his picture to appear on a tobacco card, so kids would buy his. He was against smoking tobacco
Right, sure.
for kids, so he had the card removed.
Right.
So that's why the card is worth so much money. So it has sold for 2.8, and many feel that it's going to reach $3 million mark soon.
You knew something that the people don't know to this day, right? Smoking kills, you know? Okay. All right. So what are the most popular cards from the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s? Like you said, the mantle you mentioned. Go ahead.
In the 1930s, it was the beginning of gum in packages of cards. The first, the major card set of the 1930s was the Gowdy gum cards. They were made from 1933. Gowdy monopolized the industry in the 30s. They had cards from 33 all the way to 1941. Wow. So Gowdy, the Gowdies are the most popular cards from the 1930s. In the 1940s, you have the play ball cards, the black and white cards. They were issued by Gum Incorporated. Now, don't forget that from 1942 to 46, there was no baseball cards produced because of the war. World War II. There was a limited amount of paper. Right. So not many baseball card issues were printed from 42 to 46, except for 1943, where MP and Company out of New York produced generic ball players on recycled cardboard paper. Right. The cards are a little bit, they aren't appealing, but that was the only issue of cards from 43 to 46. And then in 48, Play Ball came back to the market as the Bowman Gum Company. Bowman. So Bowman. So they issued cards from 48 and 49, Bowman, and then into the 50s, where Topps started in 51. Topps bought out Bowman in 1956. Okay. So Topps really ran the whole 1950s into present. Topps still stands today. So the 30s, you had the Gowdies. The 40s were the Play Balls. 48, 49, the Bowmans. 50s, the Topps.
All right, so people out there that don't know a history of you, how you got started in the business, you've been in the baseball card collecting, dealing business since you were a kid, right? You've been doing this for years, and you have a lot of education about it. How do you find out all about baseball cards? How do you know so much? Do you read a lot about what's going on, and you have do something with the Beckett, right? Beckett.
Yeah, well, I'm on the price panel of Beckett, which is the hobby's #1 publication. Right. They've been around since.
It's like a Bible.
It's the Bible.
Baseball card collecting and all other sports cards too.
Every old baseball card issue is in that catalog. Right. They've been around since the late 1970s. And
they look to you, and they call you, and you give them quotes?
The new 2009 Beckett Almanac, I was involved in creating the new prices, along with other experts in the field. They're actually a lot of experts in the field. But yes, I'm one of the contributors to Beckett Almanac.
So you're very educated about cards. How many years, let's say, you've been doing this now? For over 20 years, right?
Yeah, I started when I was 12, 13 as a collector, and then I stared dealing, at shows and dealing with the old cards at 13 and 14. So yeah, close to 25 years.
I've been a baseball fan for years too.
Always
myself.
A baseball fan.
The Yankees and the Mets.
And you have such a good collection. You invited me to your house. Right. Phil, this gentleman has a nice collection. He invited me when we first met to his apartment. And he pulled out from his attic boxes of baseball cards, and I got excited.
Now I gotta hide them again.
And he has a lot of cards from the 1970s, but he's got them in rubber bands. You got to take them off. Take the
no rubber bands, kids. You got to tell them.
You got to take the rubber bands out.
Very bad. You don't want to make lines and creases.
It's sacrilegious. You got to take it out.